Greetings, SciFiction awesomeness. Everybody on the digital grid, can you hear me? Let me know if you can hear me on the digital awesomeness. My name is Owen Cotter. If you're listening to this is episode 71 on Subspace Radio Network for SciFiction Radio, iHeartRadio. We got our assistant here. She's manning the board. Can you and see if you can hear me out there? And I will do that. We're going to bring on the broadcast here shortly and see how. Got an amazing guest tonight. His name is Vernon Smith, and he's an amazing artist doing a lot of stuff, including IDW Publishing. He's got some new books and some new things he's working on. So, yeah, just really look forward to checking that out. And he'll be on here shortly. I'm going to check something right quick. Trying to get a little technical errors, a little technical stuff going on. We're just seeing if everything's going correctly here on the board. See if everything's doing right. Seems like it's going correctly. Perfect. So, seems like it's going good. Perfect. We are going to be bringing on Vernon Short. We're going to be doing a lot of updates here in the beginning of this broadcast. So everybody pour in the room here and we'll join in the sci-fiction goodness. We're not sponsored by Mountain Dew. We wish. This is good, zero sugar, good stuff. We'll be joined rather here shortly in about 15 minutes or so with Vernon Smith. Doing a lot of events coming up shortly. We'll be in Lake Charles, Louisiana, about a week and a half, 2 weeks in April for SciFiction. After that, we'll be in Amarillo, Texas for what's it called? Yellow City Comic Con. And then after that, we'll be at Level Up in Las Vegas, a massive gaming, pop culture fandom, sci-fi anime expo in Las Vegas with over 100,000 guests, 100,000 attendees, with massive amount of gaming and all kind of cool guests and tons of programming at that. So really looking forward to that. After that, in May, might do a few things, filming some stuff. June, not exactly sure what we're doing in June. July, San Diego Comic-Con 2024. After that, STLV 58 year mission in Las Vegas, Nevada, Star Trek themed event. And that'll bring us into September of 2024. That's kind of the next gauntlet of things we're going to be doing, and maybe some more filming and behind the scenes goodness as well for all the sci-fiction goodies. A lot of news going on, going on over the airwaves. Let me see something right quick. Yeah, airwaves, a lot of news, a lot of good things. But basically, they've got Star Wars related content. We just dropped the Acolyte trailer today. It looks like a pretty cool project that Lucasfilm and Disney Plus are going to be launching, as well as the Star Wars: The Bad Batch. We have the episode 6 and 7 reviews live on SciFiction.com. So if you want to check that out and go to SciFiction.com, it's on the front of the site right now. We're going to have the Acolyte review reaction to the trailer of that, as well as this week we should, by the end of the week sometime, have the review of the new Ghostbusters Frozen Empire film starring Bill Murray, Dan Aykroyd, and a whole bunch of other, and of course, Annie Potts is in it, Ernie Hudson, a whole laundry list of people. Maybe people like you might know, like Paul Rudd, they're on as well. I think the next week later after that is Godzilla minus the one where he teams up with not Godzilla much, Godzilla times Kong, where he teams up with King Kong to battle the other big Titan guy. So from the Hollow Earth. Also, we had a little technical difficulty. I don't know what's going on with this thing. It's got this thing here. Hold on a second. There it is. Got it. Fixed it. It was locked on to something there on one of the what we call the intro. Something's been the software's been a little iffy with that, so I'll fix that. We did full updates on all of our systems. Not sure what's going on, but it's been a little bad weather. But yeah, we've got all that going on, and we've got a whole bunch of other things, goodies for you. We've got, of course, a great guest coming on here shortly, Vernon Smith. He'll be joining us here in about 10, 15 minutes. Yeah, we got Mars here manning the board. She's got some. See if she got any comments here on the chat. Looks like we do. I can hear you, she says. Hi, everyone. Join us. Don't forget to follow our social media pages. Always good to see that. Let's put that on there. And I think we can feature that. There it is. We can show that. There it is. Hi, everyone. Join us. Don't forget to follow our social media pages. What Mars can say and has said, and that is on there. Please do. If you're following us on YouTube, thank you so much. If you're not following us on YouTube, it's at SciFiction Official, all together, all no spaces. SciFiction Official, capital S, capital F, and SciFiction, capital O, and Official. I don't think that really matters the capital letters, but it's all together at SciFiction Official. Trying to get 1,000 subscribers this year. We got a pretty good following on Facebook and TikTok and all that. What's that's here as well at SciFiction on Twitter and at SciFiction on TikTok. And of course, our Facebook page at SciFiction COM. So feel free to follow us on all the social media goodness. Got that there. And all kind of goodies. We're going to be coming to you from SciFiCon in about a week and a half or so. Like we said, for people just joining us on the broadcast, we'll be coming to you from Yellow City Comic Con? Yellow City Comic Con, Amarillo, Texas. After that, we will be coming to you from Level Up in Las Vegas, Nevada. Massive gaming, anime, pop culture fandom expo. Take a little break, filming. I know we're doing in June. San Diego Comic Con for people just joining us 2024. And the last event of the summer will be the STLV 58 year mission Star Trek event in Las Vegas, Nevada. For people joining us, if you feel free to ask Vernon questions, he'll be joining us here in about 12 minutes. So feel free to ask him questions. He does a lot of cool stuff. He's got some new books out. He's got, he does stuff with IDW Publishing. I believe let him tell you about it. He'll tell you about all the stuff he does. He's got some other books he's done in the past too. One deals with Bigfoot Frankenstein. It's a super cool book. And he's got some other stuff as well as children's books, adult novels, horror, a little bit of everything, a little fantasy, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. So all kind of goodies. For people joining us, my name is Owen Cotter. If you're listening to this on the SciFiction radio channel, it is going to be on Subspace Radio Network, episode 71. 71 is the episode, and if you're listening to this on the Subspace Radio Network, so stay tuned on that. I will be coming to you tomorrow. This will be probably air on the 20th of March between 7 to 8 p.m. Central Standard Time CST, 5 to 6 p.m. Pacific. So stay tuned on that. This is episode 71 for SciFiction Radio. My name is Owen Cotter. You're joining us here on SciFiction. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us. You, the fans, make it all worth happening. We're going to be bringing you tons of content. We still got 2 or 3 interviews from Fan Expo we're going to be dropping. We've got about 7 interviews from the last event, including an amazing video interview with Jake Stormon, who was in Mythica and in the Outpost and all kind of other cool stuff. We also have tons of stuff coming after that. We're going to be going, of course, to SciFiCon. They've got their guests. One of their main guests is Edward James Olmos. Might know him from Battlestar Galactica, Miami Vice, Blade Runner 2049, all kind of other goodies. He's coming down there, as well as a whole bunch of good actors and anime guests, and I think there's 4 bands. There's a pub crawl, there's a party, there's all kind of stuff, sci-fi, rock and roll, techno, you name it, it's all there. A great vendors hall, tons of merch, all kind of cool cosplay contests, you name it. And then after that's Yellow City Comic Con in Amarillo, Texas, and after that, Level Up in Las Vegas. Massive gaming expo and anime and pop culture fandom expo, expecting a total, I think, over 100,000 people, right? Yeah, about 100 plus thousand people. Mm-hmm. So that's one of the biggest, if not the biggest. Next to E3 is no longer around, so that's a really big event they're going to be holding out in Las Vegas, Nevada. So everybody join in here shortly. If you have any questions for me or for Vernon, feel free to ask him questions. He's going to be joining here. Vernon's awesome. He's an artist and does a lot of things pertaining to like pop culture, graphic novels, books. Just a super all-around cool guy. We're going to be doing a lot of this. People is joining us. My name is Owen Cotter. If you'd like to be a guest on SciFiction Radio or our live stream broadcast, which also a lot of times the audio goes to SciFiction Radio, please feel free to message us here on Facebook at SciFiction COM. Or you can message us on the Facebook, the website at scifiction.com on our contact tab. Just fill it out, submit. It'll shoot it straight to the bridge, and we'll respond. Usually within 24 hours or less, we usually get the responses done on that. So people joining us, my name is Owen Cotter, and you're watching SciFiction on the SciFiction Awesomeness on all channels, including YouTube, which we are looking at getting subscribers more to the YouTube channel. So follow us at SciFiction Official, all together, no spaces, dashes, or underscores. We're broadcasting right now, well, rather simulcasting right now on YouTube at SciFiction Official, altogether, no, like we just mentioned, Facebook at SciFiction COM, Twitch at SciFiction COM, and X, formerly Twitter, at SciFiction. We're working on getting TikTok hooked in there next with some special magic. And we're going to be also got some other treats we're going to be bringing to you on the SciFiction board, as well as some new updates to the site. There's going to be some new sections being put on there. I can't really get to that, but let's just say it has to do with animation. It's going to be an anime section. What's going to be, and then we're going to have as well some other projects that will be companions to the site. That'll be able to be used to bring you bigger and better, awesome content and all kind of other goodies, as well as possibly some other things we're working on as well. It's a whole bunch of stuff. It's kind of vague, but it's really super cool stuff. And I think everybody's going to really enjoy it. They take it to another level that we haven't done before. Been working on one thing for about 12 months now. It's about 13, 14 months. It's going to be really, really cool. Also, be able to bring you all kind of quality content that we're really happy to bring you all the time. So we travel to all the Comic Cons. For people joining us, my name is Owen Cotter. It's episode 71. SciFiction Radio and SciFiction live stream broadcast here on the 19th of March. This will air on SciFiction Radio tomorrow, March 20th, 7 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, 5 to 6 p.m. Pacific on Subspace Radio Network for iHeartRadio. And basically, one of the things I was going to get to before we start the interview with Vernon, if you'd like to be a guest, feel free to message us at SciFictionCOM on Facebook or send us a message on scifiction.com with the contact tab at the bottom. So we at the top, click it, submit the form, boom, straight to the bridge. We'll respond usually within or less than 24 hours. We also have the ability to advertise with us. If you'd like to be an advertiser or have an event that you need a little bit of traction to kind of get it up there, feel free to contact us on any of those channels, on Facebook especially, or submit it on the site, and when it gets to the email, respond back to you there as well. We also are actively looking for sponsors, magical sponsors. If you're out there, feel free to contact us, especially individuals, companies, production companies, product companies. If you're doing T-shirts, science fiction memorabilia, you've got really cool anything film project. Anybody that wants to promote for us to promote them and be a sponsor for us, we're looking at two different things. You can either do a little bit of funds or a hybrid of funds and products. We'll wear your products. We'll whatever, or showcase your ideas. It could be anything from outer robot rings or jewelry or shirts or sculptures of Optimus Prime, whatever you have. We'll showcase it as long as you sponsor us, because these events are not, as we know, if the Comic Cons and all the fans know that they are not cheap to go to. Some of these events are 4 and 5 days. You have to get there a day before the first day, Thursday, and then you got Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then you have to check out Monday because you don't want to just head back. So all get the last piece of the event. A lot of times on the Sundays, for people that may or may not know in media, you get some of the best interviews because the foot traffic's not as heavy, so you can get better quality and longer interviews with the actors and various talent over at the Comic Cons. Also, the sponsors really help us because we can activate more sections like on the site, get more and more writers, activate more and more cool projects for everybody to enjoy. So that's always a plus to have that kind of stuff. And we're looking for those as well as people that want to advertise with us to promote, whether it's an event or a film project or whatever you have that you want to get the word out about. Could be a trilogy of sci-fi operas, space opera novels, or a comic book or a graphic novel series you want pumped and showcased. We have different, depending on what your needs are, we can work with you. So that's basically the gist of that. Here in about 4 or 5 minutes, we're going to bring on Vernon. We're looking forward to talking with him. He's always a pleasure to talk with. He's done a lot of stuff. You'll probably know of some of the things he's going to be mentioning. He's worked with IDW Publishing. It's a very big publisher. Done a lot of stuff with other things like books, children's books, novels, a little bit of everything, actually, including some fantasy. So one book he did was with kind of a Bigfoot Frankenstein thing. Where did you have to check that out? I'll tell you about that. I'll let him talk all about all the goodies here coming up on the broadcast. If you're just joining us, my name is Owen Cotter, and you are watching SciFiction on all the SciFiction channels, including YouTube at SciFiction Official, SciFiction COM on Facebook, Twitter and TikTok at SciFiction. Of course, YouTube is SciFiction Official is important. We're trying to get 1,000 subscribers. We've got a pretty good, decent following on Facebook and TikTok, and somewhat decent on Twitter. We're really looking to get the next level. It's so hard to get subscribers on YouTube. There's some big companies, and they've only got like 1,000 or 2,000 subscribers. So I mean, it's very hard to get a couple thousand, even 2 or 3,000, and much less 1,000. So if we can get 1,000, we'll be very happy. We may even give a prize out. May give somebody a prize if they're 1,000 subscriber, or in the last 10 subscribers. May give some merchandise or some cool stuff out. So stay tuned for that. That'd be really cool to give a prize. I love giving prizes out. We've got a lot of stuff we can give out as prizes. We've been kind of going through it. We have a little contest. We're working on getting it for the Facebook algorithm has been terrible this last several months. Starting to pick back up though, which is good. Thank you. The Facebook overlords of the universe, of the Merlin of awesomeness. So basically, that's about it on the updates. So for people joining us, if you'd like to follow us on all of our social media pages, like Mara said earlier, don't forget to follow us. We're here on Facebook, we're here on YouTube, we're here on Twitter, or X rather, and we're here on Twitch. We're trying to work on getting a TikTok connected to this as well through some magical, the lightning force goodness. Um, that's basically if you're following us here or just joining the broadcast, we will be coming to you about a week and a half or so from Lake Charles, Louisiana, from SciFiction at Lake Charles, Louisiana. After that, Yellow City Comic Con in Amarillo, Texas, and after that, Level up in Las Vegas, massive video game, anime, pop culture, fandom, sci-fi, you name it, event in Las Vegas, Nevada, featuring over 100,000 fans and attendees that will be at that event, and tons of amazing programming, panels, guests, cosplay, vendors, and merchandise, you name it, companies, and everything you could ever want in the world of pop culture, fandom, gaming, and beyond. So they'll all be down there at Level Up in Las Vegas, Nevada. It's in later in April. They'll have the exact dates here in front of me. If you want to go to their if you just Google LVL up is the second word, level LVL up expo or convention in Las Vegas, Nevada, it'll bring you to. It's a very very beautifully polished website they have with all the video of all the stuff they do and the games and everything. So look for the very polished site with the video playing on, and that'll be the site for Level Up. About 1 minute or so, we're going to be bringing on Vernon Smith. Vernon Smith is awesome. For people joining us, my name is Owen Cotter, and you're watching SciFiction on all digital channels. We are going to be bringing on Vernon here shortly, and looking forward to talking with him, chatting with him here now. We've got a lot of stuff getting ready to go on over this next few months. If you're just joining us, there's a ton of stuff, ton of goodies joining us. Thank you for everybody for joining us, by the way. We've got a lot of cool stuff we're going to be bringing. I mean, just tons. I know it sounds like, it's like a big, bunch of stuff, but it's a lot because we're going to be going about 7 events coming up all across the country, maybe even out of the country here soon. We'll get our next steps to go international with some of these events. Full blown there now. We had international in London for Star Wars Celebration through our correspondent Kieran Burt. He's awesome. He's also one of our contributors and writers to the site on SciFiction.com. So check out his content. We've got a whole bunch of people we've been bringing on board. A new anime writer. His name's Austin. Super good guy. Lives out in Japan, of all places, and which makes sense for anime, right? And then you've got let's see what else. You've got Dominic, who's been working with us for a while. We've got video games. We got everything. Everything you can imagine is on the site. So go to SciFiction.com. If you need any news updates, we try and get all the news updates as quick as they get the announcements out. And we're an independent media news company, so we're not super corporatized. So we're pretty, open minded to working with people. We're not, you know, NBC, whatever. So, but we love all those channels. Some good on there. Thank Vernon Smith joining us here on the back end. Let's bring him on. Vernon, can you hear me?
Yes.
How are you doing today, sir?
I cannot see you though.
You can't see me. Hold on a second. You can't see me. Can you see me?
Um.
I can see you.
Oh, okay. All right.
There
Yeah.
you are. Awesome, man.
What's
Awesome.
up?
Doing good, doing good. I was just checking in with you. I've been bumping you here on going over all the events. We're going to get ready to go to a ton of events coming up. So
Oh yeah. What you got?
we got one in Lake Charles, Cypher. You're probably familiar with that one. We've got
Yes.
one up in Amarillo, Texas. We've got one in Level Up in Las Vegas, a big video game pop culture fandom thing, like 100,000 attendees at that one. And
Nice.
then we're going, yeah, that's gonna be in late April. I don't know
All
what we're
right.
doing in May. Maybe some filming stuff. Of course, San Diego Comic Con, then wrapping up STLV 58 year mission Star Trek event in Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Tons
I've never been to it.
of stuff. It's
I want
awesome. They're both awesome.
so
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah. You ever get into Star Trek? And the Star Trek ones are awesome too.
Yeah, no, I mean, I haven't been to a Star Trek convention since I was a kid, and even though I'm
Yeah.
like a huge Trekkie,
Oh, I love
like
Trek.
I've got posters for like the first four movies and the original series.
Nice.
Like I've got a poster for Star Trek 6 rolled up somewhere. I
Oh,
haven't
the
got
Undiscovered Country. Nice.
yeah, and I haven't got one for 5, but I do have the record for the soundtrack like up on the
Mm-hmm.
wall. Because like I'd ordered the album and then it got like damaged in the mail and like the record got bent, but I was like, all right, I'm not throwing this away. I can at least like put it up on the wall. So
Oh, the art for those poster art's amazing for those films. It's
mhm.
solid gold. Have you been
Yeah,
watching some of the new Trek, like Strange New World and stuff like that?
yeah, love it, love it. Yeah, those guys. I know Pike and Spock
Mm-hmm.
were at not this past Fan Expo, but the year
Right.
before, and yeah, got to like I'd done a poster just to like give to a friend of mine because she was gonna go get it signed and stuff, and she was like, "Dude, Spock, Ethan Peck, like he loved it," and I was like, "All right, cool," and she's like, "You should go talk to him," and I was like, "Okay," uh, but he was super
Yeah.
cool and like
He's a
he
cool
even
guy. Yeah.
signed a poster for me and like personalized it with like
Oh wow.
this kind of Spock sounding quote. And I was like, what's that from? And he's that's actually it was something that I came up with and used on my audition for Spock. It's like, okay,
Wow.
cool.
That's super cool. He was
Yeah.
he crashed one of the panels with the fans down there. They had the panel for the Ark with new Sci-Fi. They just got renewed for a second season on
Oh,
Sci-Fi Channel. Dean Devlin and the guys who created Independence Day and Stargate, the showrunner who wrote
right.
for they were there. He was in that panel, and then we ended up after that. I think I interviewed Dean Devlin and Jonathan Glaston. That was pretty cool. And
Wow.
then we got Ethan on camera as well, so he wanted to talk to us. You got to get all the sci-fi goodness.
Nice. That's way cool.
Got that, and yeah, it was a lot of fun. But enough about us. What do you got going on? You got some books in the background. It looks like.
Oh yeah. It's just a stack of stuff that I can look at while I'm working because I'm usually working right about where my phone is set up
Right.
for this. And so it's kind of like, all right, yeah, it's. I mean, there's like more stuff behind it, but it's like this one's
Right.
most all ages stuff, and then this is like various other stuff, and just to kind of be like, a little kind of kicking my own butt to just, all right, this is what you got. What's next? What's next? What's
Motivation. I got you. And
yeah,
you've been
yeah.
doing stuff with IDW Publishing too, with the Turtles and stuff as well, right?
Yeah, and might be doing some more with them, but I'm not sure yet. But
Nice.
yeah, I will let you know as soon as I find out.
Very cool. You've
Yeah,
got some other books we were talking about earlier today. Some of the new projects you're working on. What are some of those ones? I think there's two of them, right?
yeah. Right now I've got about 20 pages left of a 150 page graphic novel
Very cool.
called Tad Caldwell and the Monster Cult. It's a book. I know the writer, and he had done one before, and done several other graphic novels. Some with like various, I don't know, Eastern European goth bands and stuff, and also
Very
like
cool.
Cradle of Filth and stuff. But he did this one called Tad Caldwell and the Monster Kid a few years ago, and it was kind of like late 80s, early 90s, like sort of monster squad, like just like high school kids kind of solving or stumbling upon like this
Right.
UFO type mystery. And I really enjoyed the hell out of that one. And he was like, yeah, I was thinking about seeing if you wanted to do something together. And I was like, in the back of my mind, I was like, please be a Tad Caldwell book. And it was like, yeah, it'd be like the sequel for that. And I was like, yeah, sure,
Oh
absolutely.
wow. Nice.
And I know he said that like they shot, like they made a whole indie movie on it, and it's in post production now, and they might be interested in doing more stuff. I'm not exactly
Wow.
sure. I don't want to say anything out of school if if he
It's
hadn't
all
said,
good.
but yeah, so he was like, yeah, so they want to see like a second book, and I was like,
Mm.
sure.
You can't
Um,
beat that.
yeah, and it's really cool. It's been a blast to work on. Like it's a strictly black and white book, so
Oh,
it's
cool.
yeah, so it's been
Kind of like the old Turtles books are kind of black and white, I believe, right?
right, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But like where those had like kind of gray tone scales to
Mm.
it, this is strictly black, strictly white,
Nice.
and so it's been cool to
Super
because I
cool.
haven't done a black and white book in forever, and even when I did, it was like
Mm.
gray tone, like zip tone style dots and stuff for the shading.
Right.
Um, but even then after that, like doing color books, like you kind of rely on a colorist to sort of fill in stuff, and so like
Right.
being able to just kind of go in all in on like heavy blacks on pages, like just
Mm.
throw in tons of ink or digital ink depending on what
Right.
it is I'm doing.
Right.
It was cool to really mess around with that.
That's super cool. We ran each other over at Fan Expo in New Orleans. You got any events coming up afterwards you're going to be at?
I know probably Showcase Comic Con in June.
Now, where is that one at?
That's in Slidell,
Okay.
kind of across the lake
Our buddies
from
from
New
Slidell,
Orleans.
Jacob Charlot, he was down there. He's one of the actors from Space Command.
Oh,
So
yeah,
yeah, he was
cool.
down. I don't know if you saw him. He was with us. We had like a
No,
whole entourage of people down there.
nice. And I have no idea after that. Depending on what happens, possibly New York Comic Con because I haven't been up
Oh
there.
wow,
Like I didn't go this past year, but I usually try and do that one because
yeah,
it's good for
it's
kind
massive,
of
man.
what's that?
It's massive. So what I'm
Yeah,
hearing. Yeah,
yeah,
we've never been to New York Comic Con. We have some buddies have been our buddies at Interfleet Broadcasting. Shout out to you guys, New York Pete, Chris Tipsy Toaster from the Battlestar Galactic community. They've been wanting us to
oh,
come down there. Yes, indeed. Fans feel the fleet. That's their motto, and they've been wanting us to
uh,
come out there. So we might have to go out there and team up and do some stuff down in the future. So
yeah. It's a great show. It is huge. Like it's
right,
almost San Diego
yeah.
type
I
huge.
think
Like
they
it.
sometimes rival, if not beat, the record number of
Oh,
attendees or
really?
something like
Nice.
that. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't been to San Diego, geez, in like over 10 years, and I remember it was like crazy there. But yeah, New York, like it's big, but still like kind of manageable, but
Yeah.
still kind of crazy. And
I've gotten kind of used to Comic Con. I got acclimated, so I know my ways around everywhere. How to kind of the nav. If you want to go, if you're on Saturday, like the core day, it's going to
yeah,
take you half an hour to get from one end to the other, going straight. But if you want to
yeah,
really hustle and go like warp speed, you got to go around in all the little nooks and crannies. But still, it's like shoulder to shoulder. So you got to go like Frogger and shoot
yeah,
around. And,
yeah. I just remember about San Diego, like just my feet and legs killing, and
oh
and I was
man,
like in my 20s,
yeah,
like
yeah. We had our buddy I mentioned before, Jacob. He's from Slidell. He's like
uh-huh.
former military, and he's like just ripped and in shape. He was even like having some blood sugar, like feeling really weak and stuff. That's a
Yeah,
lot of walking down there. You have to
yeah,
take like steps, like pace yourself. And
yeah.
we're down there coming up on you got like the gas lamp district, hits before you
Oh
hit the
yeah, yeah.
convention center in the Bayfront. So we were walking, we are staying about like 3 blocks up in one of the
Oh
units up there. We'd walk downstairs, but every day just hundreds, thousands of cosplayers coming back and forth. It was awesome. And we walked down there. So if you want to go to convention right quick, take care of something, shoot back to your place, get cleaned up, then go out to dinner. It's right there. It's all there. It's
yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, no, that's way cool. Yeah, New York,
Yeah.
there was a good bit of walking. It's mostly like to and from the
Mhm.
show because it's like catching the subway and
Yeah.
stuff. And one of the brutal things, like about 2 years ago when I went, like when you get off at the end of the subway in
Mm.
the station, there's like this escalator, probably goes up like about 2, 3, 4 stories, and it was
Mm.
broken. So it's
Oh
like
wow.
this hoofing it up an escalator, and I was
Wow.
like halfway through, I'm like, oh yeah, no, I could do this. This is good.
Hey,
And
at
then like
least the
up to
escalator
the
wasn't
top,
running the other way, going
yeah,
up and then yeah. I've actually, I'll tell you a story about that sometime. That was craziness. So I'll tell you to you right now. So we were in Las Vegas, and me and my girlfriend and some friends, and it was was it Fourth of July? Yeah, Fourth of July, and there was no way to get out of there to get to the Sky Bridge at Caesars was the place the fireworks are going off. My
Yeah.
girlfriend ran up about a story tall escalator going the other way, running it to get up. I almost made it, man. I had like what 400 million people like just cheers, hundreds of people like, oh go go
Yeah.
go, and this one guy did he make it? I had a cramp in my leg the last three steps. I couldn't do it, man. I was like, oh man. I went on
uh,
the internet to see if there was a viral video, but nobody posted it, unfortunately.
right. Yeah.
I like to act like to do it. This is real. I was really like jogging up this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jeez.
I was
Next.
a lot of expelled a lot of energy doing that. And I would not recommend that to anybody.
No. No.
But yeah, that was a lot of fun with it out there. And so you mentioned your books you did before. One of them's in the background there, the Frankenstein one. Can you tell everybody about that one?
Oh yeah, Bigfoot Frankenstein.
Super cool book. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the story of the great, 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 whole lot of greats grandson of Dr. Frankenstein, who's walking through the woods one day and stumbles upon a pile of dead Bigfoots.
Mm-hmm.
So he stitches parts of them together, harnesses the power of lightning, creates a new best pal, and hits the road trying to figure out who's killing all the big feet.
Super cool story, man. I read it's awesome. It's
Thanks.
awesome.
Yeah, it's kind of like a buddy cop road trip sort of action adventure.
It's like Starsky and Hutch meets Frankenstein.
Right, yeah. Yeah, you got
That's
monsters,
awesome.
you got mutated rednecks, you got, there's even a little love along the way.
Right.
Little something for everyone. Yeah, that
Yep.
came out a couple of years ago, and I'm actually, after the Tad Caldwell book, going to be doing something with the same writer, Mark Bertolini,
Very cool.
working a book with Scout called Happy Land, and that is. Let's see, I'm trying to think of what a quick synopsis or tagline would be. It's kind of like what if your imaginary friends weren't imaginary and were no longer your friends?
Oh wow.
Yeah, it's like
That's
this.
awesome.
It starts off like in the late 80s, early 90s, and there's like this kid, and he's kind of a loner, and not fitting in with the other kids at school. They're kind of jerks and stuff. And so he's got like this stuffed animal who's his imaginary friend, only he actually, in his mind and in reality, goes to like this imaginary land called Happy Land. And so, it's somewhere for him to escape all the troubles of the real world. But then as he's growing up, becoming a teenager, hanging out with his friends, being interested in girls, going driving and stuff, he's kind of forgets about his imaginary friend. And that guy kind of starts getting angry and jealous. And, then the kid like grows up and goes back to the house that he grew up in, and it's like abandoned, like I think his mom's dead or something, and he's there with his little daughter, and there's still like the stuffed animal in the sandbox. This is like part of an age thing that we've already done.
Right.
And then like it cuts to the imaginary friend in his imaginary land, and he's all like jacked up looking and mutated, fur coming off, and got these veiny, bulgy eyes and stuff. And like in the whole imaginary land is all like broken down and decrepit and rotten. And so like the imaginary friend wants to like, get revenge on the kid who's now a grown up, and he sees that the kid is, more focused on being a dad. And so he goes to kidnap the guy's daughter, and then the guy back there and rescue her from his former imaginary friend.
So it's a full graphic. That's gonna be a big book. It sounds like.
Yeah, I believe it's a 5-issue miniseries. So kind of the same as Bigfoot Frankenstein was. So probably about 100 50 pages or so. Yeah.
Very cool. I was going to check that one out when it comes out. So how is it working with IDW Publishing? I got to ask about that. So we have a lot of friends that work there. One of your buddies down there was next to you, Tim Laddie as well, was working with them. And,
We're not friends.
are you not?
Yeah,
No,
no.
yeah.
That's actually kind of how I got on there, because when he started with the Saturday morning cartoon book, it was like someone was doing like color assists, and we're just like on the phone, and he's like, yeah, that person like kind of flaked out, and I was like, well, if you need help with some of that, I can do that, like, in spare time. And he's like, all right, sure. And they were cool with it. So it's like I did that for like a couple of issues, and then like they got all caught up, and I was like talking with the editor, and I was like, I'd love to do a cover for
Very
the
cool.
series sometime. And he's like, sure. He's like, it's about to, because it was a mini series at this
Mm-hmm.
time. And
Yep.
he's like, we just announced that it's going to be like a monthly issue. So yeah, hit me up in a few months. And so like I hit him up in a few months, and then he's like, hit me up in another couple of months, and I did that. And yeah, and then he set me up with the assistant editor, and they were
Very
like, yeah, we're going to do this one issue. It's like a Halloween
cool.
issue, and it was originally just going to be like, a regular like issue 5 or 6 or something, but
Mm-hmm.
then something got delayed, and so it ended up being like its own standalone Halloween special. And they're like, is that cool? And I'm like,
Pretty
absolutely.
cool. That's pretty neat.
And yeah, it was a blast. Like the editor that I worked with, who I think is now like the full-time editor.
Oh wow.
Um, Before they had someone else who was the editor, and I think he left. I don't know if he went to another book or another company, but the assistant editor, they're now the editor now. And yeah, they were super cool. I'd send in stuff. They were like, do you want it to be story specific? Do you want to do like your own thing? And they were kind of like, yeah, just do what you want. Send us a couple of sketches, and they did that. And then they were like, Nickelodeon likes this one, and I was
It's
like,
always good.
okay,
That's
I like
awesome.
it. And yeah, it was really cool. I like how it turned out, and a lot of people did too. Like there were some people at like Fan Expo that like came in
Mm-hmm.
from Texas. Like someone else like picked up a
Well, she had
copy.
all the Ninja Turtles were there
Yeah,
at the yeah.
yeah,
All four of them.
uh, yeah, and some of the Star Trek people too, which
Mm-hmm.
was super cool. And yeah, it was.
RoboCop was there, and you had everybody was there at that one. You had the Terminator cast. You had
Yeah,
what was there? Danny Trejo was there. We saw him walking around. We
yeah.
actually saw Bam from Viva La Bam walking around there.
I saw him walking around too for like one day.
Right for one day, it's like the last day or something.
Yeah, I think like he got in like kind of a last minute thing, and then thought he was gonna be at the
Yep.
select section, and there was like this whole drama thing about that. Surprisingly, a drama around Bam. Who would have guessed? Uh,
Wow.
but yeah, the Fan Expo shows have been like super
Yeah.
cool.
Very cool.
Kevin runs it is like amazing, and yeah, everyone there has just been like really awesome.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's definitely a step up from.
We had a blast, man. We got down there and they always treat you with welcome arms. That's what I love. Like their whole staff is super professional. Everybody
Yeah.
from all the people there, from Brittany to Jerry to Mike G, all those guys and girls. And it's amazing to get to go down there. And we still have like this year. I think was one of the most packed guest lineups they've had. I mean, like really packed. I mean, they have a little bit of
Yeah.
everything from '80s, '90s, like the Turtles, RoboCop, Buckaroo Banzai. Yeah, Randy Quaid was even there.
Oh,
He had
really?
yeah, he
I,
was down there for
uh,
like one day or so. I had a
nice.
panel somewhere. I think it was after the panel I did. I went to
Oh,
moderate Sean Gunn's panel. Of course, his
oh,
brother's James Gunn, DC, and he's been in
yeah.
DC and Marvel both. So we did that. That was cool because he had like, I mean, a lot of questions and answers from the audience. Some
Uh,
really good questions too. I was like, wow. This one
yeah.
guy got on there and he was like, so hypothetically, you can't talk about DC, but hypothetically, if you were to talk, I was like, hypothetically, and Sean, of course, falsely answered the question without giving too much away.
Yeah.
So it was
Yeah.
pretty good. So,
I did something like that at the there was a Star Trek panel that I
mhm.
went to, and it was like Heather Antos, who's like the editor for Star Trek,
Hmm.
and someone else who's like a writer for Star Wars. Like she'd written quite a lot of Star Wars books, and I'm blanking on her
Was it
name.
Claudia Gray?
I
She's
think
at some of the events.
so.
She
God,
was down there this past year.
okay, then it might have been. And I was like, I asked some question like, is there anything that you haven't done with Star Trek or Star Wars that you would want to do? And they're like, well, obviously we can't tell you that because it's like something that
Right.
we, yeah. But yeah, they're super cool about it. But and I didn't even like intend to be like, without exactly saying, maybe just
Right.
names of the people so that no one will know what you're talking about.
Right.
Some guy
I love the way the guy asked the DC
Skywalker.
question though. Forgot to mention he said you've before he asked that, he said, you've been pretty good about dodging the DC questions so far. And that's how he led the question. I'm like, wow. That was amazing. A solid gold. I think he is coming back though as the what's the big the squid, I mean not the what's his name, the rat, the big rat. He plays out in Suicide Squad.
Oh,
Yeah, he's going to come back as that. I think he's definitely going to be doing some other stuff in the new DC movies. I think
okay.
Pedro Pascal's character from Wonder Woman '84. He's going to be playing that character in the new
Oh,
Superman yes,
yeah. All right, cool.
so that's going to be in that. That's already been announced. And you've
All
got the
right.
whole Have you seen the DC lineup? The new gauntlet of films and stuff. Oh wow.
No, I'm so far behind on not only what's coming out, but what's come out in the past. Like I think Endgame is probably the last
It's all
thing.
good. That list is impressive. They've got a lot of stuff that a lot of them haven't even done before. I'll have to
Okay.
send you a link to some of the stuff we put on the site. They've got just a
Yeah.
whole laundry list of stuff they're planning on doing over the like decade. It's quite
Yeah.
impressive.
Nice. Yeah. No. Probably the last one I saw might have been Suicide Squad, like the
Mm,
last one.
yeah,
Or does the Robert Pattinson Batman
yeah,
movie? Okay. All
counts.
right.
It's good. I
So,
liked it. It was good. Man, I couldn't even
yeah.
believe that was
Like
Colin
I
Farrell
know
as the
it was
Penguin.
part of the universe. What's that?
Couldn't even believe it was Colin Farrell as the Penguin. It doesn't even look
Right.
like him. I was like, wow.
Yeah, that guy, like, he's pretty amazing. And I guess he was in his because like he'll do like 5 movies in a year
Hmm.
and then not do anything for a decade,
Right.
then do 5 movies and then not do anything again. And it was like, all right,
The
he's
last
gonna
film I saw him, it was like Total Recall, the
right, yeah,
reboot. That was a good movie. Though. I like those. Kate Beckinsale and what's the other girl's name from Blade Trinity? Oh man, man,
Blake.
all I can ever. What's that?
I'm thinking Kate Beckinsale, but that she wasn't in Blade. She was what was it?
She was
Girl.
in Underworld, but yeah, I was like trying to think of what it's her. You know who I'm talking about? The one from
Yeah,
Blade Trinity. It was her and Ryan Reynolds, but she plays the other lady in the Total Recall movie. That
right,
movie was
yeah.
amazing. I was like a little bit different than the take. Instead of going to Mars, he tunnels through the Earth and all that. But
Yeah.
pretty cool.
I kind of wish they'd gone a little bit because to me it was like I was like this is pretty
Yeah,
similar to the original just with a better budget and
right,
I don't know about better writing but more because I mean stuff in the 80s was kind of more
right.
like not hokey but sort of like flamboyant and done up
Yeah.
more and it was kind of more updated and modern but I was like
Plus, the original was a Paul Verhoeven film, which is super gory. So it's kind
yeah
of light on the gore compared to like RoboCop and stuff. It's
yeah
still pretty gory. My favorite part of that, there's two favorite parts of that movie. My first favorite part's the part when it's like they're going to Mars and like the president's doing the whole thing, and he's like the thing. And the second favorite part is when Michael Ironside, right before he gets his arms cut off by the elevator, then he takes his arm and says, "Tell him hi at the party," and throws the arms off because they keep talking about having some party when Quaid was gonna. I was like, man, it's just solid gold.
Dude, Michael Ironside's like pretty much the baddest
He
dude.
plays all the badass. He played in
Yeah,
pretty much V, the Visitor series.
that,
You
that's
got
how I remember seeing him when I was a kid, like in V. And then
yeah.
like whenever I would, like draw comic books, like in junior high and high
Mhm.
school, like I always had a character that like kind of looked like Michael Ironside as like the sometimes a badass, sometimes a good
Right.
guy anti-hero or like those I would always like typecast him or like a guy that looked like what's his face, Jonathan Banks from like
Mhm.
Breaking Bad
Breaking Bad, yeah.
and Better Call Saul. Like, and
Mhm.
he's also been around since like the 70s and 80s. I think he was
He's been
probably
around forever. He's Michael Ironside. He's like a legend, man. He was in like
yeah,
Terminator Salvation. I was watching that recently, and he's
right,
even in X-Men First Class. He's a commander of a battleship that was going to fire on the X-Men when on the beach with the big submarine or whatever.
right, yeah,
Yeah,
all right,
he's in everything. Sequest, the
yeah,
third season, 2032.
yeah,
It's after
yeah,
Roy Schneider retired, and Jonathan Brandis and all the cast of that.
yeah,
That was a great show too. That was a
yeah.
cutting edge show. That was Steven Spielberg was on produced that through NBC.
Yeah, I only caught a couple of them. Like that's another thing. Like I have so much that's just like on a pile of stuff I need to
There's
watch.
tons of '90s solid gold. Some of the best '90s sci-fi, in my opinion, will be stuff like Farscape, Stargate SG-1, Atlantis, stuff like that.
Yeah,
Then it's more 2000s. Let's see what. Of course, there's just a lot of stuff. Like UPN had a lot of one-off shows. Like one was like called Tracks and Night Team Night Rider and all kind of crazy
yeah.
stuff on it.
Was tracks with like an X or two X's or
No,
something?
they had Tracks and then they had Mutant X, which was super cool. That was a cool show because they had this guy that was kind of like a Professor X, but he's younger, and he had this
Yeah,
base inside this mountain. And the one guy could shoot electricity out of his fingers and all this crazy.
God, I remember that. I haven't. Jesus.
Yeah, that was a good show. I actually got to talk with the guy that did electricity, Victor Webster. Years later, he was doing a time travel show on Sci-Fi
Uh
called
huh.
Continuum,
I
and he
remember.
played. Yeah,
Yes.
he was a detective that the girl met back in the past or whatever like
Oh,
that. Yeah, he
yeah.
skyped in or whatever from the show. He's super cool to talk to. But I
Nice.
forgot he'd done the electricity guy, so I went back to talk to his people. Like, you mean the guy from Mutant X? I love that character. He's like, yeah.
All right.
I'm like, wow.
That was on UPN. For some reason, I thought that
Yeah.
was an Ox show. Okay. Yeah, I guess
But
so.
and was that Glenn Larson who did Battlestar? And I also had a show called Nightman with the guy with the eye and all that. He could fly around. And all.
Yeah.
It's like Iron Man meets Bruce Wayne meets Nightman. He even had
Yeah.
his own like Lucius Fox, created all
Yeah.
the gadgets and the hover belt. That's great. And that first intro, well, they had two seasons. Season one was more of that sexy intro with the Nightman and him playing the saxophone and all the
Right.
cool, the Plymouth Prowler, purple car. And then the second intro had him jumping from scene to scene in a comic book. And it was more like a comic book come to life.
Oh,
And
all
season,
right.
yeah, it's a pretty
Yeah.
cool intro.
Yeah, I hadn't seen that since like it was on air.
They have
God,
it
that.
on. They have it on Blu-ray. I think it's on NBC on streaming. It's fun to
All
watch.
right.
Holds up pretty decent.
I think we got the Peacock. I know right now
Yeah.
I'm like watching Buffy.
Oh,
Like
Buffy
what?
Vampire. Yeah. But you
Yeah.
see, Angel was good too. I like the guy that was the bartender in that. It was great,
Yeah.
solid guy.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's some because I haven't seen it since since
Mm.
it was out, and I didn't watch it like all the time, but I watched it enough to where like I knew what was going on, and then
Right.
like even when we were watching it, I was like, yeah, I know stuff that y'all don't know, and then whenever it happens, I'm
Yeah.
like, cool, I can talk about this now, and
Nice.
because like they didn't even it was like I think 6 or 7 episodes before they even like uh showed that Angel was a vampire.
Yep.
And so it's like I'm watching with my wife and daughter, and like my wife's saying something, and I'm like, I just want to be like, well, yeah, because you only see him at night because he's a vampire, and then
Right.
like came out like I was like, all right, now y'all know, and my daughter's like, I knew kind of from the beginning, and I was like, oh, okay,
Right. That show's amazing. Buffy,
yeah.
they're all great shows. Yeah, I was gonna say, if you read the graphic novels, they have graphic novels for that as well.
I remember Dark Horse was doing those, and
Mm.
I would catch them every now and then because it like it continued it. It was
Yep.
like season 12 and season whatever that were after the show, and I was like, oh yeah, that would be interesting because I'd also watch the occasional Angel episode,
Mhm.
so it's like I know that it was like him and Cordelia, uh, and so the bartender's in it too, like the one from Buffy that was like.
The graphic novel is based on the Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I don't know if the bartender did it or not, but believe it or not, the guy that wrote or did the work on the writing is actually the guy that played Xander in Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Oh, really?
He got a New
Okay.
York Times bestselling author for that. Yeah.
Nice.
It's pretty
Uh,
cool.
yeah, I think like Joss Whedon might have been working on the comic,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
right? Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
Man, I miss Firefly. They should have done 2 seasons, 3 seasons, fourth.
I need to finish watch. I've seen the first 3 episodes like
Oh,
five
it's
times.
good. It's good.
Like I've started it like 4 or 5 times, and then
They made a
something
movie too, Serenity. So really,
Serenity.
actually, it's not a bad film. It's pretty good.
Yeah. So I need to get back in and finish it again instead of just rewatching 90s Star Trek for like the eighth time.
Trek's awesome. Man. Yeah, can't beat
Yeah.
that. Man, there's a lot of new Star Wars coming out. What are you watching any of that? They just dropped the Acolyte trailer today, and I think they're going to be doing some more as well.
I Dude, that's another one. Like I haven't seen Andor. I haven't seen
Ooh, oh man, that thing is
uh
addictive to watch. Andor is amazing. It's kind of like Blade Runner, the Blade Runner of Star Wars. There's no
okay.
Jedi in it. It's just like straight nit and gritty. Andor trying to figure stuff out. It's amazing.
All right. Yeah, I
Solid gold.
the last I saw was Mandalorian
Mhm.
when Luke showed up. And
Okay.
that's it. And I know they've had like, or at least I think they've had like
Yep.
more Luke since then.
A
But
little bit of Luke, but the coolest thing, my opinion, was when he teamed up with Boba Fett. I'm just going to leave it at that.
all right.
And they
Yeah, I
got a lot
saw.
of characters in there. Cad Bane's in there, and you had
Okay.
they go back to Jabba's palace. Of course, Jabba's dead because the show takes
Right.
place at this point probably 6 or 7 years after it. Well, the first season of Mando was 5 years after Return of the Jedi.
Right.
So
Oh,
this,
and
yeah.
Boba either.
Mhm.
But I saw that like Boba Fett showed up in that season of Mandalorian. Um, I didn't see the Ashoka show.
Mhm.
Or did she have her own show?
Yeah,
Or was she,
Ahsoka. Yeah,
okay? Uh, yeah, I haven't seen that one either.
it's a pretty good show too.
Yeah, yeah, and I love Rosario Dawson. Like she's always awesome.
Which is a
And
really
then,
good job on.
but hell, I haven't even seen Clerks 3 yet.
I haven't seen that. I'll give you that. I haven't seen that one either. Seen the
Yeah,
first two though.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I've seen all the other ones, but I
Right.
haven't seen it.
Jay and Silent Bob, all the good stuff.
Yeah.
We've got a little bit of time left. Is there any website links or Twitters or anything you'd like to shout out for people joining us?
Sure. You can find me on most things at
Yeah,
Vernon Draws. Just
pretty
my
good.
name, Draws. I don't update as much as I should. Sorry.
It's all
Uh,
good.
but yeah, I'm on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram's probably the best.
Okay.
Uh, I also opened an Etsy shop, but it's only got one thing on it, and I can't even remember what it was. It might be Ninja Turtles books
That's good when they put on. That's good.
that I do like a painted sketch in it. But honestly, I can't remember. I am so bad at that kind of
It's
stuff.
all good. Well, Vernon, I wanted to thank you for joining us, man. It's always a pleasure talking with you, sir.
You know, for having me.
No problem. You have a good night, man. Peace
You
be with
too.
you and live long and prosper. So say we all. And yeah,
Nice.
and may the force be with you always.
Absolutely. Thanks.
Thank you, sir.